Hello all, my name is Krish Naik and welcome to my vlogging channel. So guys, another data science general Q&A session, and in this particular video, we are going to understand the interview process for a data scientist. So what is the usual process that we actually follow, and that is what we are actually going to discuss about. And we are going to go step by step. We are going to go for both freshers and for an experienced person also. Now guys, whenever, and let's go ahead with the fresher. Okay, now suppose a fresher gets an internship call or a job call for a data scientist. Usually the first thing that he actually gets is a written test. Now this written test is not like, you know, a multi-optional test or something like that. He will be basically given a simple use case in data science, and that use case may be with respect to deep learning, machine learning. It may be a use case over there, and they'll be giving you some pointers like what all things they actually require from that specific use case, and they usually give you somewhere around 2 to 3 days to solve that particular use case, and after that you can submit that particular use case to them. And once they find it that you have solved it pretty much properly, they usually give you a call for the upcoming rounds. Now this is how it usually happens for a freshers, and why this particular round is required, guys, because understand directly without a company knowing that you can work into data science, because for a fresher definitely a real-time experience will not be there. Whatever things he will probably be doing in his college, that all things he'll be basically writing in a resume. So usually the companies usually give this kind of written tests so that you solve them and you try to prove them. So after that, if I talk about an experienced person, and specifically if I talk about experienced person who are more than 2+ years of experience, or at least 1.5+ years of experience, the probability of having a written test is very, very low. So that basically means the first round you will not be having a written test if you have at least 2+ years of experience, and that is what I have seen in most of the companies. Yes, in some of the companies they tell you to write that specific written test where they will be giving you a use case and they'll tell you to solve it, but all the other time they usually conduct an interview. Now with respect to the interview, and this will probably be same for a fresher and for an experienced person, guys. Once a fresher clears the written test, and the person who is at least 2+ years of experience, if he's called for an interview, they may probably have around 2 rounds of technical interview. Now in the first round of technical interview, usually a senior data scientist or a lead data scientist usually come, and they ask them all the basic questions regarding the things you have actually done, the things that you have actually written in your resume. They'll be pretty much focusing on the project work that you have actually done over there. Probably they may be asking you questions like, suppose if you have done a machine learning project, they may tell you to tell about yourself, tell about the project that you have actually done. Suppose if it is a suppose it is a machine learning project, so they may be asking questions related to machine learning, and they may be deep diving into all the things that you have done in that specific project. They may ask you some of the tricky questions. Suppose in this particular case regarding the performance metrics, what was the main aim of this particular project? How did you feel? How did you do that? And what are the challenges that you actually faced in that particular project? How did you solve that particular challenges, and all those kind of things? Then probably they deep dive into the technical details with respect to the project, where they ask you technical questions regarding the machine learning algorithms or the deep learning algorithms. They may ask you, how did you perform the hyperparameter tuning, and how do you go ahead with the deployment? What is the team size, in which all life cycle of the data science project that you have actually worked? All these kind of similar questions will be basically there. But always understand, whether you're a fresher, whether you are an experienced person, whatever things you have written in your resume, they'll try to ask on that. Yes, they may have some more new questions. They may come up with a new use case where they may be telling you, okay, if this is our use case, how do you think you will be solving that particular use case? Again, you just need to explain them that yes, this is the pattern that I'm probably going to follow in order to solve this particular project. This is the life cycle that I'm probably going to go and follow, and which all challenges that you should also be you should try to say that probably, okay, I will be facing this many challenges in this part. I'll try to solve this in this way. I'll try to solve in that way. So at least this kind of approach really need to be put in front of the recruiter, the senior or the lead data scientist. But all over it, guys, when I talk about this particular interview process, it's more to make the recruiter know that at least you know machine learning or deep learning properly, at least you know the process of the data science project properly, right? So this is how the first round usually goes. In the second round, what happens is that a technical architect usually comes. He, again, on the overall basis, he'll not go with the basic question like how a lead data scientist probably may have asked. He'll try to understand the architectural level knowledge that you are probably having. He'll try to understand from the top view, like how you have actually solved that particular project, what is the project main aim, and again, they will be rotating over there itself. And again, they may also give you a new use case. Probably I'm having this particular use case. Probably I'm having this forecasting use case. So what do you think, how you're probably going to solve it? So again, on the top level, you really need to explain them. Do not go much into the minute details. On the top level, you should try to explain them in a proper way. Now, this was with respect to the first and the second round, and this are pretty much common to both the freshers and an experienced person. Now, when I say experienced person, at least more than 2+ years of experience. For people who are having at least more than 2+ years experience, they will not definitely have a written test, so you don't have to worry about that particular part. Okay, that is what I have seen most of the times, but if your bad luck is there, definitely for 2+ years of experience also, they may give you a written test. Okay, after that comes usually an HR round. Now in the HR round, if you have actually cleared first round and second round, there is a very, very high probability or high probability that you will definitely clear this specific interview, and probably more than 90% of the people usually clears the interview, because the last round, which is the HR round, is all about talking about money, like how much salary you actually want. Okay, now some of the do's and don'ts in an interview that I really want to say is that, guys, always stick to your resume. Okay, never try to say something other than that. Always stick into the resume. Always don't try to say things that you don't know. Try to answer in such a way that where you're not repeating the same thing again and again. This is a very, very much important point that everybody needs to understand. If you don't know something, just tell them that you don't know. That is well and good, not a problem. If you know something, try to explain them in a much more better way. Focus more on your storytelling skills. That is the most important thing, guys. Your storytelling skills is pretty much important. Trust me in this. Storytelling skills is pretty much important. Try to focus on that instead of, just talking about terminologies in just an unordered fashion. When you're able to explain the project in the story, in a storytelling way, definitely the recruiter will be able to understand, and he'll be definitely impressed by your skills. And in data science, storytelling skills is very, very much important, because tomorrow you need to communicate with the stakeholders, you need to communicate with the senior people and many more people as such, right? So these are some of the do's and don'ts. Again, I'm telling you guys, focus on the basic. That is very much important. Focus on storytelling skills, focus on explaining the things. Now let me just revise whatever I've said till starting, guys, with respect to the interview. Suppose if you are a fresher, you'll definitely have a written test. It may be for an internship position, it may be for a full stack junior data scientist position. Okay, so usually you'll be having a written test. You'll be given time for around 2 to 3 days. Then after that, you usually have a first round where they will be asking about all the things that you know that you have written in your resume. They're revolving around most of the things over there. Suppose if you have written deep learning, they may ask you regarding deep learning, and again, all the basic things like what is loss function, optimizers, or how do you select an activation function, all this kind of stuff, right? Then coming to the second round, the technical architect usually takes, he'll just ask you the use cases at a very high level, to try to understand that how you're going to approach a specific problem. And probably the third round is basically the HR round, which actually says that 90% of the time you're going to clear that particular interview. And after that, you're basically given an offer letter, right? Again, I also spoke about some of the do's and don'ts. Please make sure that you remember that. It will always be helpful whenever you're working in any company. So I hope you like this particular video. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Thank you, one. Bye-bye.